What up, it's Shankster94, and welcome to the prologue for my full play of Resident Evil Outbreak, and it's going to be a long one. So as always, and will always be, the purpose of these prologues is to go over basic information about the game, preview some gameplay elements through a couple pre-recorded demo reels, and present a summarized rundown of how exactly I'm going to play the game in respect to my full play. Just be aware that I myself will not actually play the game in this prologue. So Resident Evil Outbreak is yet another spin-off title to the franchise, released exclusively for the PS2. It is also the first Resident Evil game to have online multiplayer capability using the PS2's online network, which has since been shut down. Apparently, however, there's an independent server that can connect Outbreak through the PC SX2 emulator, which happens to be what I'm using to play it, so I may attempt to feature online play, maybe in the epilogue though. Point is, this was the very first Resident Evil game to be able to go online. It also has a direct follow-up titled File Number 2, which has all the same characters and gameplay mechanics with a few additional features, and of course I'll be playing through that game directly after this one. This game in a lot of ways throws back to the games that came before it, primarily though through the in-game scenarios this game has. Speaking of scenarios, Resident Evil Outbreak breaks away from the standard all-in-one mission and instead features 5 separate scenarios taking place during the Raccoon City incident. So yes, we are back in Raccoon City for this one. Each scenario takes place in an area either seen in a classic Resident Evil game or mentioned in the Resident Evil lore. There are 8 primary characters in this game, each having their own abilities, personalities, and occupations. We'll learn more about them in a little bit, but now I think is a good time to introduce some gameplay elements and follow my prologue tradition by watching the 2 demo reels this game features. So let's watch. Alright, here we go. Okay, someone was grabbed. Okay, it's going through it fast, so I can't really keep up with it, but... So, clearly it's fixed camera angles again. Ooh, this guy's got a handheld flamethrower. Okay, so that was one of them. It went by pretty fast, but from what we saw, someone was grabbed by a zombie and someone else came and threw a rock at him and got him off. And then there was another quick scene where some creature was hit by a scrub brush of some sort. And then there was a scene with a hunter, I noticed. And then there was this insect-looking creature. So yeah, a very fast demo reel. Let's see another one. Okay, this one's staying on the same scene, so there's like 3 characters on the map. 2 of them are pushing a vehicle, so that function is back, pushing objects. So it appears to go back to the fixed camera angle in some way. Although I noticed in a couple it's tracking you. Uh-oh. Whoa, I think she almost died right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back here. Yeah, they bring that back. So as you saw, the return to the camera angles perspective and tank controls, although unlike the classic games, this camera isn't fixed and seems to track your character. Another thing that was noticeable was the extensive use of melee weapons. If you've seen my weapon review of this game, you know it has an insane amount of those, almost recommending you to use them over firearms in some cases. Having melee weapons, this game gives them limited durability, and they eventually wear out. Firearms could also be broken and repaired in this game. Now let's go ahead and check out some menus, starting with the scenario selection. So, so here's scenario, and then this is an unlockable mode that I will go over in a little bit. But for now, let's go into here. Okay, so no save data. So as you see, there's only one available scenario, the rest being unlocked by completing each one before it. After choosing a scenario, we get the character selection screen. Here are the 8 characters I mentioned earlier, starting with police officer Kevin Ryman. Aged 31, he has a high-quality handgun at game start. I don't care to read aloud his height and weight. Next, you got security guard Mark Wilkins. Aged 52, he is strong with melee weapons. Next, you got subway staff Jim Chapman. Aged 24, he will rarely be attacked by enemies. I'm just gonna say right now, this is my least favorite character in this game. Next, you got Dr. George Hamilton. Age 39, he can create many types of medicines. Alright, a doctor. Next, you got plumber David King. Age is unknown, apparently. He can create new weapons using tools. Alright. Next, you got reporter Alicia Ashcroft. She was referenced in Resident Evil 7. Age 28, she is a master of unlocking things. Is that a throwback to Jill Valentine? Most likely. Next, you got Yoko Suzuki, a student. Age 20, she can hold more items at one time, probably from the backpack that she carries around. And finally, you got waitress Cindy Lennox, age 24. She can heal her friends. Alright, so these are the 8 main characters, and all of them have their own abilities, as it sort of mentions. All of them will come in handy in a certain way throughout these scenarios. So quite a variety indeed. After choosing a character, they let out a little voice dialogue. All of them have that. And the last step is choosing difficulty. Right now, as you can see, we only have 2 options, easy and normal. This is because the 2 harder difficulties have to be unlocked and bought from the collection, a whole nother menu which we will now navigate to. Let's go into the collection. This one takes a second to load up. So the collection is a place you go to spend your in-game currency of points that you earn through gameplay. As you can see, I currently have no points because I have no progress of this game whatsoever right now. You can see there's sub-menus as well, so the first section is Gallery. These are just basically pictures and screenshots of a lot of gameplay elements. They're not all that significant. Next menu is Costume, and as you can see, nothing is being shown right now, so I can't even buy anything. That's because these things need unlocked first through gameplay. So in order to unlock costumes, I must gather up all of the SP items in the game. That's another element I'll go over in a little bit. Next is Movie. This is all the in-game cutscenes and movies, basically, and they get unlocked throughout the game, because you see the movies, they become available for unlock. Next, you got Sound, pretty much the same thing. Play through the game, you unlock the ability to listen to the in-game BGM and sound effects. I'm not actually sure how to unlock these. And then you got the extras menu, and I actually know what all 4 of these. So these first 2, these are actually the harder difficulties. The first one is hard mode, and this is unlocked by beating the final scenario in any mode. I don't think it has to be normal mode. Once it's unlocked, then I have to purchase it for however much it is. The next one is very hard mode, and this is unlocked by completing all of the scenarios in hard mode. So this will eventually get unlocked and bought, so I can finally play very hard mode. The next 2 modes are modes that I'm not really gonna feature. The first one is solo mode, or also known as lone wolf mode. Basically, you go into the scenario single-handed, when normally you would have 2 AI-controlled characters by your side. Yeah, that's something I didn't mention. You go into the game with 1 character, but you get 2 AI-controlled characters along with you, which are chosen specifically for the scenario. Lone wolf mode is unlocked after completing all the scenarios in hard mode. And then finally, this last thing is infinity mode. This, kind of how it sounds, makes all of your weapons and items basically infinite, both in quantity and durability. To unlock this, I have to complete 100% of the event checklists. Apparently in File 2, I have to do that and complete all scenarios on very hard. So Outbreak File 2 is pretty much a continuation of this mess, but with harder requirements. So that is the collection menu. I guarantee I will not be showing all of this through the full play, but in the epilogue and bonus video, I might attempt to use a code that apparently unlocks everything from the get-go, so I can show all of this off later. Alright, so that is it for the collection menu. Now, before we check out the character log menu, let's quickly scan the options menu. So, of course, this has your typical options, like controller settings, sound settings, brightness adjust. I don't think I need to touch that. This game's bright enough right now. Screen adjust and save and load. Yeah, the jazz. So yeah, nothing significant in there. Alright, so now the reason I'm going into this menu last is because it'll be a great place to finally go over my game plan for fully playing this game on my terms. So let's go in, and we'll do single play data, since network will hardly be shown here. So this menu keeps track of all your statistical data and game progress, and is the perfect place to refer to for 100% completion. That is a feat I will not be accomplishing in this full play, if you were curious. As has been a rule since the very beginning of my full plays, the term full play in my channel's context doesn't mean 100%. It just means play the game extensively enough to show everything that can be seen. That definition isn't perfect, really, so ultimately, I alone decide what constitutes a full play on my channel. So the first category in this menu is general data. So this is a place that stores your total playtime, total score, your character usage, total distance traveled, survival rate, and health condition like averages and game clear average infection rate. That's another thing that this game introduces. It's the virus gauge. Basically, from the start of the scenario, you're apparently infected with the virus, and you have a limited amount of time to complete the scenario before it reaches 100%, and you essentially turn into a zombie, although you don't actually see that on screen. You can apparently, if you play online mode, match won't end just because someone dies, since online people still need to play it, so you actually reanimate in online mode. So I really should demonstrate online mode. But anyway, that's what infection rate is referring to, and that is something that will come into play a lot more as I get into the game. The next submenu is battle and cooperation. So this is recovery items used, percentage of total number of hits from different types of weapons. As you can see, everything's at 0 right now because I haven't laid a blueprint on this game yet of any way. So we also got save dying player, saved from dying. As I said, there are 2 AI controlled characters normally tagging along with you in the game, so if you're dying, they can save you. If they're dying, you can save them. And they are important to gameplay because they have their own inventories, and you can actually swap items between characters. So on that subject, you got item exchange, items given, and items received. And then saved grabbed player. So if someone's grabbed from an enemy, you can get them off, basically. Alright, next you got scenario play data. This is really where it would show, like, if you have 100% or not. So you got clear rate, and right now it's only showing 1 scenario. That's because the other 4 scenarios need to be unlocked before their data can be implemented here. Then it shows all the difficulties and all the characters. So right here, I guess, is a good place to demonstrate my game plan for the scenarios, difficulties, and characters. So there are 5 scenarios, 4 difficulty modes, and 8 characters. Every scenario will be shown, every difficulty will be played, and every character will be played at least once. What's not being done here is not every character is being played in every difficulty. That is the element I decided to drop for this full play. Otherwise, we would be playing a total of 160 scenarios, and that is just way overdoing it, in my opinion. And as a lot of you have told me in response to one of my community posts about Outbreak, you all agree it is not necessary to do that. So I'm not doing that. So here's what I'm going to do. As you can see from this layout, I will start a scenario and play every difficulty at least twice in each scenario. It's switching the character every time. So there's 2 characters for each difficulty mode, because there's a total of 8 characters and 4 difficulties, so it divides evenly by 2. Now another element of that is each scenario actually has at least 1 canonical character within the scenario, and that canonical character will be used in either normal or hard mode. I decided that for myself. Now this game seems to depict each scenario having at least 3 canonical characters, because the AI characters it chooses are always the same. At least 2 of 3 select characters for that scenario. In Outbreak File 2, they stopped doing that, and there's only 1 absolute canonical character. And also, you may notice here that in very hard mode, I'm seemingly using Kevin, David, and Alyssa a lot. And that is because I believe those are 3 of the strongest characters and could tackle very hard mode. Yeah, I'm not gonna give each character their own variety by trying to give them every difficulty mode at least once. That's not necessary. I do not want to use a wimp like Jim in fucking very hard mode. No thank you. Alright? So yeah, here's my game plan. So here's the thing, I'm gonna bring this document in real time over the gameplay so I can demonstrate like what my original plan was. So my original plan was to play each scenario a total of 8 times with all characters and in all difficulties. Like this, basically. Do all of Outbreak first, and then I would finally move on to Below Freezing Point and play all characters and difficulties that way. However, I forgot that hard and very hard modes need to be unlocked and bought first, so I won't even have hard or very hard available from the get-go. So I have to do this a different way. I'm really thinking the way I want to do it is 4x4. I think that is the best way to do it. So we would be on each scenario 4 times, seeing 2 characters and 2 difficulty modes. No matter how I do these first 2 modes, I won't even attempt to purchase hard mode until I'm done with all that. Then I'll have hard mode unlocked, and I will pretty much have to do it a 2x2 way. until I beat decisions in hard mode, and only then will very hard be unlocked, and hopefully I'll have enough points by then to unlock that mode. Now, here's the thing. If I happen to not have enough points to purchase hard or very hard mode, when I get to that point in the full play, I will purchase them off camera. Here's something I need to mention when it comes to the full play. This game is scenario based. So the way I'm going to play this game will be more similar to Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica in a more episodic fashion. Instead of breaking a playthrough into parts, each video I upload will be a playthrough of the scenario with one of the characters. So that's how I plan to go through this game in that fashion. Alright, so now let's get this off the screen and return to this screen. So yeah, those statistics really will come into play. Unlocked secrets, I really not sure what that is referencing, so I can't really say anything about that. Alright, then you got the special menu. First you got special data, which no weapon clear and no damage taken clear. These are two special conditions that you can achieve, and it's self-explanatory. No weapon clear, that means I don't use any weapons throughout the whole scenario. And then no damage taken, I simply don't take any damage. I hope to achieve that at least once. The no weapon clear, I'm not sure if I'll be able to accomplish. I mean, the only scenario I'll probably accomplish it is the very first one, and one of the easy modes, really. And then you got shortest clear time. These are just random statistics for like speedrunners and all that, you know? Shortest clear time in each scenario, in each difficulty. It keeps track of all the data you could ever ask for, basically. Highest score. Because, yeah, your score that awards you the currency, the points, that is dependent on several factors of its own. Kind of like the regular games, you get ranked at the end of it, and it also rewards you points. The better you do in the scenario, the more points you earn, and those special conditions really up those points. What also contributes to those points are SP items and event checklists. I'm actually going to get to SP items right now because that's the final menu. Special item data. So special items per scenario, and there's also special items by character. So special items or SP items are invisible items that are found by literally inspecting like every nook and cranny on the map. So it's really tough to gather them all. They're not even physical items. They don't go into your inventory or anything. They're just collectibles throughout the scenario, which contribute to the amount of points you earn. And they also contribute to unlocking costumes, especially the character specific ones. Those unlock their extra costumes. And then the items per scenario, they attribute to something. I'm not sure what it is. Let me see. So, in Resident Evil Outbreak, SP items are available based on randomly selected paths, meaning that a scenario must be played multiple times to claim all the items. Paths A and B are chosen at random when the player is on the easy and normal difficulties, while paths C and D are chosen at random for the hard and very hard modes. So yeah, to collect all of the items, I would have to play all the modes. Both cases, there are sets of special items in each scenario that can only be claimed by a particular character. Character-specific items may include components of a costume, which is unlocked when all the items related to the clothing for it are found. Only 8 special items can be picked up at once per scenario, including character-exclusive items. Once the 8th special item is picked up, all of the others will disappear. This means that it will require several playthroughs to acquire every special item. So you see where this gets ridiculous? Here's the point I'm trying to get to. Special items, I will not be featuring in this full play. Not specifically, anyway. If I happen to come across special items throughout these playthroughs, good. That's awesome, because it just means more points. But I'm not actually going to be making it a goal to make sure I find all of them. You know what I mean? So that being said, even in the epilogue and bonus video, I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to hunt them down. I may just link you guys to a video featuring all of them, because honestly, I can only handle so much, and this game has broken my mind a few times already in preparation for this full play. So I'm just making an executive decision. I am not featuring SP items in this full play. I will link you guys to a video featuring all of them at the very end. All right, so that's enough about special items, and that's it for the character log. So the last thing I guess I can go over is the event checklist. Now, I will attempt to cover all of this. The reason is events are something that I have always considered important in full plays. I do need to show all events if possible. So I will try to do that the best I can. In preparation, before I start this, I'm probably gonna have a list somewhere showing all of the events, how to trigger them and everything. And even if I don't cover all of them in the initial playthroughs of the scenarios, I will cover all the rest of them in the epilogue and bonus video. That's why the epilogue and bonus video is such an awesome asset to my full plays, because it's where I can show everything else that I haven't covered. All right, I think that will conclude it nicely. So I hope you guys are ready for this behemoth of a game. I will see you guys in the first scenario. Peace out.